Hi, the next topic is reusable transmissions. In Maplet, we discussed the combination of transmission we used for reusable concept. But if you want to take any one of the transmission, if you want to use any one of the transmission multiple times, the same logic, so we can create reusable transmission. So here in this example, we create a lookups, expression and filter, sequence generator, router. So based on the mapping, we created so many other transmissions also. So here, for example, we created one expression here. So in each and every transmission, you have option make reusable. So just make it reusable, but we cannot revert back this one once if you make it reusable. Yes. Okay. Save it. Automatically you will get the reusable transmission here, this one. If you want to change anything here in this expression, it's not possible. Just we can, this is read only, we can use in the mapping, we can use in any mapping n number of times. Just we can read the expressions and everything, we can see the columns and the data types, expressions, everything, but we cannot change anything here because you are using, other people also using the same transmission. So that's why we have only read only option in the mappings. But if you want to change anything, just go to transmission developer, drag and drop this. So here you will get option to edit anything. Okay, so if you change anything here, automatically the changes will reflect in all mappings. Okay, in each and every mapping the changes will reflect. So like this we can reuse n number of transmission based on the logics in real time. So the same logic, if you are using multiple times in multiple transmission, then we can make it reusable and we can reuse a number of times. Okay, so this is these are the advanced topics, maplet and reusable transmissions in mapping, parameters and variables. Okay, and debugger. These all are advanced topics here. And one more thing also we have here, in repository we can export and import the objects. We can export the mappings and we can import the mappings. Not only mappings, sources, targets, the entire mapping also we can import and export. But in real time, if you want to move, if you want to deploy the objects from one department to another department, we are doing that one from repository manager. So if we can import and export from designer also we can do, from workflow also we can do, from repository manager also we can do. But if when you're doing that import and export, the deployment from repository manager, you will get all the objects like sources, targets, mappings, workflows, sessions, everything you will get. If you want to import from here, you will get only mapping related objects, source, target and mapping. From workflow you will get workflow and session, but from repository you will get all the objects, designer related and workflow manager related. Okay, so I'm explaining this. Repository, first select any one of the workflow. Repository, export object. So .xml files it will create, .xml files. So if you are getting any errors, it will show 0 errors and 0 warnings. So we can see if you are getting any errors, we can see errors and warnings here. Okay, so from this dev we took backup, right? So into test I'm importing that backup. Import objects, browse, select that XML file. Okay, next. So in repository from dev we are taking add all. Next, so we are generating this dev to test. Okay, next, import. So if it is already there, if any mappings or workflows already there, it will ask for the rename, reuse, like that. Okay, so the session configuration we need to reuse. These both are new for this folder, that's why it's automatically took the copied action. Otherwise it will ask for the action. Okay, so DPT will be copied, that is new. Mapping also new. This default session configuration will create in any folder, so that's why we need to reuse this. And workflow also copied, DPT version and expression also will copied. All are new here. Import. So some errors we got. Okay, some dname is invalid data type, failed to import dpt table. So some errors we got, just done. Validate this, refresh or validate. Only target copied and transmission, reusable transmission copied. Okay, other are not copied. These are the in transmission, what are the columns we used. Here we have that. Okay, here also it will display what are the columns we have with the primary key and everything. Okay, if mapping is fine, then you will get each and every object in the test folder, sources, targets, workflows, everything you will get. Okay, so we have some issues in that, that's why we got only target and transmission. Okay, so like this we can import and export the object from repository to another repository, or in the same repository from one folder to another folder also we can do. Okay, and this is one thing, advanced concepts in the repository. And we have one more thing, the folder permissions. Okay, so folder permissions we can edit based on the users. So if you have any users, currently we have only admin. If you have any users, I'll give you this example. Okay, admin have only read-only permission. If you want to give write and execute, then it can chain that queries and mapping, it can execute the mappings also. Okay, so I'll disconnect and reconnect with admin user. Admin contain only read only option. We'll see. Disconnect and reconnect with admin and admin. Actually repository don't have these privileges to connect to this. Okay, I'll explain with this topic with new user, how we are creating the users, how we are creating the groups, how we are giving the privileges on repositories to the particular users and groups. Okay, we can see we can create those users and groups in the administration part. After that, how we are handling these folders based on the user privileges and group privileges, we'll see. Okay, So here these are the topics we have. Okay, this versioning we can, for example, the repository, if the repository have that versioning, we automatically these options will enable. So here versioning we are using to check out and check in the sources, targets and mappings, everything. For example, you imported a target into the designer. After that you got some changes in the target. First you need to check out that. After that import the table, then check in. First we need to check out, import the updated table, then check in. So like this we can control the versions. If you want to check out into the previous version, we can. So the check-in and check-out option also available here. Okay, and one more thing we have, that is target load plan. So for example, in this mapping, if you have two flows, if you have two flows, so which flow we need to run first time, we can manage using target load plan. That I'll show you that example. So two flows we have here. Sorry. Okay, here we have two flows. This is one and down is one. So we can change the target load plan. So which one we need to run first? Okay, so based on this order, the first flow will run, and after execution of the first flow, the second flow will start. Like this also we can create the dependency. For example, the first flow target, if it is a source of the next flow, the first flow target is a second flow source. Okay, so second flow source means when you are running second flow, you have to check whether source contain any data or not. Okay, when the first flow completed, then only we will get the data in the second flow source. Okay, so here we have dependency, that's why we can change the order based on the dependency also. Okay, these are the advanced topics we have. Thank you.